The following is a fan-made podcast production. The Rolde players do not own or have any official involvement in the development and distribution of the Star Trek franchise. Star Trek Adventures is developed by Modiphius Entertainment, and the stories we tell are not to be taken as official Star Trek canon. Yeah, welcome to... What are we doing?
Not the segue you are looking for.
It's not the segue
Oh
we're
my
looking
god.
for. Welcome to X Asterisk. This is a Star Trek podcast. I'm your game master, your GM, master of ceremonies, however you want to call it. Your best friend, your Chadich, Sawyer, Paine, and I'm joined by my cast. Let's go around and introduce ourselves, I guess, in whatever order we like. Let's go in order of rank. So Courtney, let's start with you.
Hi, hello. Thank you for listening, everyone. Hi, my name is Courtney St. Gelais, and my pronouns are she and they, and I will be playing Executive Officer Commander Seikosha Yarin. Are we supposed to give like more? Is this the time where we give specific information?
We'll
get into that.
We'll get there. Yep.
Edit this in post then. So I play Seikosha Yarin. She's the first officer. She's a trill, and it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a blast. That's that's what I'm going to contribute to this. So you
just set the bar high.
Really low. I was about to say
It's going to be
really
a literal
low.
blast if you don't fix this warp core.
I'm supposed to delegate. I don't have to do that. I delegate.
And what is it that you do exactly? I delegate. I delegate. And then I realized that I have two lieutenant commanders and a Klingon. So rank
Who's also a commander.
You are also commander. You are commander. Yes. Let's go with you then.
My name's Ian. Line.
Like what we do as well. Should we be like, I'm a human person and I do things like this?
That might help.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, so people on the internet can find me?
Yes.
That's what I don't want.
I know where you work.
This will be on the website.
My
once we've
subspace
written our
frequency
bios
is
and shit,
this.
but yeah. But the website's a work in progress. Hey, follow us on Twitter. We're obviously a great bunch of people who know what they're doing.
Yeah. My name's Ian. Don't find me on the internet. and I'm human, but playing a Klingon named Maegor. And he is he's coming on as the tactical officer.
Awesome.
Or even head of security, right?
Yep. Both.
All right.
Both is good.
Commander to Orly, age before beauty.
I was going to say you've been a lieutenant commander longer than I have, probably. So rank wise,
like a week.
Probably. Oh, it's also been a week for. Okay, well, in that case, hello, hi, hi. My name is Chingwe Padraig. I use he, him, they, them, she, her pronouns. I'm also a human. You can find me online at go fuck yourself. No, that's a joke. Also, don't find me. I am playing Lieutenant Commander to Orly, the eccentric older Cation science officer.
Wow.
Amazing. Yeah. I guess it leaves Tavel if there's
Hi, I'm Emily Morcos, your resident Midwesterner living out in New England. I am playing Lieutenant Commander Tavel, everybody's favorite touchy-feely Vulcan.
Go ahead.
I'm the chief engineer of this ship. That's all I got.
That's all I have in life.
That's all I am. What is it with?
You want to go into detail later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it with alien species and just T' something as a name?
You know, they tried and it didn't work out for them.
Anyway.
T'. Never mind.
I got it.
Ha! Great. We love humor here. That's why we're yes.
We're workshopping, all of us. We're gonna have hits. We're gonna have misses.
This
We're gonna
podcast
have
is
collisions.
just one long workshop.
And those hits and misses will be determined by dice. Nice segue, Sawyer. High five. Thank you.
Oh.
Me.
Golf clap.
Yeah. So, friends, compatriots, crewmen, there's a lot of honking rules in this game. So we're not going to touch on any of them right now.
Fuck them.
There's so goddamn many. So
learn along with the players.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Now I've distributed to my players and myself sort of a helpful, you want to call it a cheat sheet, but they're each like 15 pages a piece. They're nuts. Basically how to do things when you want to do them, but to save time and to get into the adventure, we'll worry about those things when we come to them. Really playing from a perspective of less what do the rules say you can do and more what do you want to do and how can we make the rules work for you. So at this point, this early on in the episode, this early on in the game, the only things that we and you, the listeners, really need to worry about are what I like to call what, why, and how. And these come in the forms of traits. Those are the what. Traits determine the physical or mental, in some cases, aspects of a thing. They are true so long as they exist, and they exist so long as they are true. For example, I am human. That is a trait. I don't know my blood type. That was a poor joke, but that too is a trait. You know, that sort of thing. Things that affect my physiology and as such translates onto the characters. Why can be translated into values. Values won't often come up, but they are integral to the characters themselves, why they do what they do, and there is a mechanic for that. So just keep that in mind as well. And then most importantly, how do we get things done? Those will be determined by the role of two different types of dice. Unlike Dungeons and Dragons, you don't roll just one D20 to determine success or failure. You have a dice pool. And I'll explain more of that as we go. And then there are challenge dice and the D6s that serve a variety of different roles. So we'll get into that as we go. But for now, let's get into the episode, shall we? Let's get into the story. That's why we're here. One last point of order. I don't expect anybody either playing or listening to know anything about Star Trek. It helps if you do, but any relevant or pertinent information will be conveyed over the course of the narrative. But if it helps to set you in a time and place, this takes place in the Prime universe. That is to say, not the J.J. Abrams movies, the original universe. After the events of about a month or so, 2 months or so, after the events of Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, wonderful movie. All you really need to take away from that is that the Federation of Planets, the United Federation of Planets, and the Klingon Empire are now working towards peace. They are not friends by any means yet, but they are working towards peace. And that's where we find ourselves at the tail end of 2293 CE, the 2293 would be the 23rd century. And there we are.
Oh, the only other thing that might also help listeners who are used to Dungeons and Dragons role playing is not only do we have a dice pool, the goal is to roll low.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you hear us very excited over a natural 1 and devastated in a natural 20. That's why.
That's why.
It's
Yeah.
a good reminder for me too.
That is a very
Yes,
good
thank
reminder.
you.
Yeah. And that has to do with the target number. Yeah, we'll get there. But good point, Emily. Thank you. Okay. The scene begins in the space of the Orion sector, on the Federation's edge of the Klingon neutral zone, where hangs the mushroom-shaped Starbase 24. Inside it and around it, dozens of starships, Federation and otherwise, await crew transfers, supplies, and repairs. And in preparation for all of your new assignment aboard the U.S.S. Eupraxia, the new Excelsior class U.S.S. Eupraxia, you have made your way there. So what I want to know, guys, and we'll kind of do the same order that we did. Where exactly are you coming from? How did you get there? Courtney, how did where do we find Seikosha right now? Is she on the station? Is she on route to the station in a shuttle? Let's do this in scene. Where are you and what are you doing?
I'm at a
right now?
bar and I'm having a beer.
Okay, so you are at a lovely Federation approved, shall we say, establishment. There in the main sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? They used it in Deep Space Nine.
Promenade?
Promenade. Thank you. Sort of on the promenade, if you will, of Starbase 24. And you found yourself at a bar. You're drinking a nice stout brown beer. Is it an Earth beer or is it something else? Is it something from?
It's something else. It's something that I had. The bartender recommended me. I wanted to try something new.
Okay, so it's a nice Rigelian stout.
Yes.
It's a little bitter, but
Is it synthahol or is it the real deal?
Yeah, it's synthahol, unfortunately. I know.
I secretly wish inside it was real.
And as you look across at the very nice bartender, whose name he gave you, his name is Herman. It says Herman on his little name tag, in Federation standard. He shares that look, and he agrees. Tell me a little bit about a little bit more about Seikosha. I don't know if you mentioned her species or anything like that. So tell me a little bit more about her.
Sure. I'm not going to do it in character, or I'm just going to tell you about her. So Seikosha is a trill. For folks who aren't as acquainted with Star Trek, trill is an alien race. They look very much like humans, aside from spots that run basically from like their ears all the way down the sides of their bodies on either side. So from like on the outside, that's what you see. Seikosha is about 5'3". She's not very tall. She has red hair. It's kind of put up into a bun with some bangs in the front. She's like no nonsense. She's here to get shit done. And so this is what you see on the outside. For reference for everyone listening, though, a special thing about Trill that not a lot of people in Starfleet know is that Trill are able to receive what's called a symbiont. So what is the most concise way to describe this?
Slug.
A slug. Basically, they're able to, it's like not a parasite, but a symbiont. They have like this little slug doodad that they can host inside of them. And when they receiveth the slug, they get all of the...
Receiveth thou the slug in the name of the Trill? It is conferred upon and within you.
Precisely.
Go with God.
I like conferred upon. It sounds like a higher education degree.
In a way,
it basically is.
Because there's a whole committee. Great segue. There's a whole committee involved in like the Trill that get chosen to receiveth the slug. We should call them symbionts. I don't know.
That's going on a shirt. That's going on a mug.
Receiveth the slug.
The slug receiveth the slug taketh away.
The slug taketh away.
And so it shall be, and so it. And so it's like this big thing on Trill. It's like a very honorable thing, and like everyone wants to have it done, right? Because when you get the symbiont, you then receive the memories and knowledge and experiences of its former hosts. So if this symbiont has been with like 4 different hosts and you're number 5, you've now have the experiences and knowledge of 4 people before you. So that's like a really big thing that is about Trill that a lot of people don't know about. For, I guess, context of everyone here, Seikosha has no interest in that. And that's one of the reasons why she's in Starfleet. Is that a good amount of information? What other things should I include?
That's great, and actually gives me a way into the scene. As you are sitting there enjoying your Regilian stout, to your left, another individual, a human in a Starfleet uniform, approaches the bar and requests a drink, a nice Aldebaran whiskey, very, very nice. And he turns to you and he says, "How you holding up?" And as you turn to look at him, you see that this is Michael Hammond, who was the operations officer on your last starship, the Calypso.
I say, "Oh shit, Mike!
Hey, Seikosha.
What are you doing here?"
Same as you, waiting for my next assignment.
You know where you're going?
Haven't heard yet. How about you?
Yeah, I know where I'm going.
Ooh. Don't keep it a secret. Where are you headed?
Oh God, I'm going on this ship called the Eupraxia.
Eupraxia.
Yeah, it was a little last minute, but I'm really psyched for it. I'm super stoked. Really,
Cool.
Really excited about this. And I take like a really, really long sip. That was a really.
Your drinking habit suggests, or maybe not drinking habit, but fuck it, I'm committing to it. Your drinking habit there suggests maybe a little nerves. Are you Helmick again?
No.
No. Oh,
No, man.
up or down?
Oh, we went up. We're
I inhaled my water.
Strong ale there.
Hydrate, yeah.
hydrate.
Hydrate or dihydrate, man.
Yeah. No. Oh, we went up. I'm
up.
the first officer.
And he chokes on his drink. First officer. Hot damn.
Hot damn it, fucking deed, dude.
That's awesome. How'd you pull that off?
No fucking idea.
And he raises his glass. I will drink to that.
Cheers, mate.
Clink. And you both down it. And he settles a bit. And he looks over at you and he says, "You know, calling to be proud of you too."
And Seikosha like looks down and has like a quiet moment. And she like looks into her beer glass, kind of swirls it around, and she like takes that in. And she looks up and she's like, "Thanks, man.
You got it.
I hope to do him proud."
Of that, I have no doubt. When do you ship out?
A few hours.
Well, care to reminisce for a bit?
Yeah. No, I think that would be good. Good send off.
Yeah.
For both of us.
And you do. You spend the next few hours sitting, drinking, talking, laughing, crying, just being in the moment. Because the next few hours we'll be off to the races again. Chingwe, you want to tell me a little bit more about to Orly, what he's doing, where he is? Is he on his way? Is he on the station? What's up with him right now?
Absolutely. So, I think to Orly's been at this station just a bit too long.
Okay.
A bit longer than he'd like. I I think he got word of this assignment like maybe a month ago and got here early and absolutely found himself a spot to sit down and do nothing as much as possible. I don't know where this would be on a star base, but if there's some place that is a cross between like armchair philosophy potheads and beat poets, that is where he has found himself. He is deep in arguing with someone that I don't think he's ever met about some deep aspect of like Andorian martial poetry or something like that.
Okay.
And he's wearing not the standard monster maroons. He's wearing like that nice suede jacket that usually only captains and admirals have. No one's quite clear how he got his hands on one, because he is just a lowly lieutenant commander despite his advanced age of 60. He is a Cation, which for the uninitiated they're cat people. They're just cat people. The famous examples are on the 2 animated shows, the original animated series and Lower Decks, Imris and Dr. Ta'ana. Though if you look really close, there are live action Cations, and some of the TOS movies don't look close because they're actually terrifying. He looks like a heavy set older bipedal gray tabby cat. He was already like born gray and is somehow graying even more.
Donkey boy.
Yeah.
Right. And so the individual that you are arguing with here in this, let's call it one of the lesser populated recreation rooms, lots more, it's more of a reading room really.
Mm-hmm.
You could bring in a drink if you wanted. It's very, very casual, but like good place to sit and read and not have an argument. But you've come in and started an argument, or had an argument started by
No, Torley absolutely started the argument.
Okay, so let's do this in scene. So as you came into this room, were you looking to start an argument, or
Torley is so incredibly bored.
Okay,
he absolutely is looking to start an argument. And I think though Commander Seikosha wanted actual alcohol, somehow Torley, I think, does have a bottle of genuine Saurian brandy in his bag that is, let's say, not sealed.
And so it is with this attitude and with this this libation that you've entered this reading room and come upon an Andorian gentleman in his, say, early 40s.
Okay.
Who has found himself seated in a nice chair, nice little leather armchair, and is reading an epic poem called "Love Amongst the Enar," and he's enthralled by it and acknowledges you as you come in with a quick nod of his head, and continues reading.
I see you're reading Love Among the Einar.
Oh, you know it?
Yes. In fact, I wrote a dissertation about an early Federation translation of it.
Who was the translator, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, just some small-time Andorian. Frankly, I can't say I think much of him. I believe his name was Thylek Shran?
Thylek Shran? His translation is among the most revered among our people. Are you're calling him small time?
Yes. Yes,
Huh.
I am.
Well, you've got balls, kid. I like that.
You do?
Well, yes.
That's
I do.
not how I was hoping this would go at all.
Well, how are you hoping it would go?
Listen, I'll give you half a bottle of Saurian brandy if you just throw a fist in my face. How about that?
Done. And he hurls the book down and takes a swing at you.
Fantastic.
I'll go. I won't make this a combat roll. But he takes a swing at you.
Very lucky that even if I do bruise, you won't be able to tell through all the fur.
So does he make contact?
Oh, absolutely.
Fantastic.
So Orly is. Actually, wait. What is my combat ability? No, my security is 2. Yeah, no, absolutely. Torley goes down easily, quickly.
Wow. I thought Caitians were spry.
Yes, well, you've just punched an old man, so.
Oh. I thought old men were spry.
Not all old. That's a very big generalization. Well, listen, if you want to talk about cultural differences, I have a dissertation here in my bag. It's slightly stained with brandy now, but if you'd like to read it, I personally, I think it's fascinating. I'm biased. I wrote it, but it's only 150 pages.
Uh-huh. I mean, another time, maybe. I thought you wanted to fight.
No, I did.
And
you punched
okay.
me, and now, frankly, my day's great.
Fantastic.
So you don't want to read my dissertation?
No. Give it here.
Oh, fantastic.
And you hand him the data pad, and he scans it, reading it. You can see his antenna kind of quivering as he almost keeping perfect track with his eyes as he goes. And he puts it down. I'm sensing a lot of anger.
From me?
Yes, you're very, very passionate about your argument. I like that, but I don't know. It feels like there's you got a chip on your shoulder there, Mr.
To Orly, Lieutenant Commander to Orly, unfortunately.
Lieutenant Commander Sothar Fronor.
Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. Hope we never have to do this again.
Oh, don't worry. I'm putting you down as a peer review.
Excellent. Good. God, I hate peer reviews.
Oh, they're the absolute worst.
Terrible. Absolutely horrible. What was it you were drinking? A nice what?
Sorry, and brandy. There's still a swig or two left in this bottle.
Fantastic. Let's share it. Yeah. And you sit and you bond with this gentleman. And he says, unconventionally, and he says, so what brings you to Starbase 24, Mr. Torley?
Unfortunately, I was pulled out of my lovely little self-chosen exile, and I've been told I'm to report to a starship.
Oh, same. Which one?
Oh, it's some Excelsior. The
Excelsior?
Yeah,
Nice.
The Einstein Eupraxia.
No shit.
Yes, I've heard there's unfortunately some very smart and famous people on board.
Well, that'll be fascinating to get in their heads, I bet.
Oh, I'm very curious. What about you? You said you've been reassigned. What's dragging you all the way out here?
Well, now that you've piqued my interest, I don't really consider it dragged so much anymore as brought to a new opportunity. You see, I too am assigned to the Eupraxia. I'm head of counseling.
Fantastic. Somehow I feel like you've already got a very large file on me.
Yes, we're going to be great friends. I promise you that. And we'll and we'll move on.
And
Emily.
Andorian counselors definitely would sock their patients in the mouth.
Oh yeah. I've been looking forward to introducing him.
Oh man.
Love it.
Emily, what's Tavel up to?
Okay, so Tavel has only just arrived here and settling into whatever quarters she has. I'm assuming she has some private quarters here on the
Sure.
station, or
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, by the way, Tavel is a Vulcan, And for those of you who don't know, Vulcans are another humanoid species in the Star Trek world that are characterized by their pointed ears and green-colored blood. They're known for being very logical and for suppressing or eliminating all emotion as part of their pursuit of logic. So she is becoming the chief engineer aboard the Eupraxia, but right now she's just by herself in her quarters, and she's lit a bunch of candles for meditation, but she's not even close to meditating. Like every time she sits down, candles in front of her, like she's just popping right back up and like pacing and looking out of the window and coming back and being like, no, we're doing this. Deep breath. Pop back up and pace some more.
What's on your mind?
What's on my mind? Oh man.
What's got you in such a emotional?
I take umbrage at that terminology, sir. No, Tavel has been stuck out on a starbase that she didn't want to be on for a very, very long time. Her specialty is warp core technology, and she has been on a space station that doesn't go anywhere, doesn't have a warp core. And so she's deeply gratified, shall we say, to finally have her crack at a starship. This is her first assignment to a starship. But at the same time, this is an enormous and strange promotion to go from being a lieutenant on a starbase, being stationary, to all of a sudden being the chief engineer of a starship. And if anything can rattle her calm, this can.
Okay. In the midst of your attempted meditations, you get a it's called a ping or a notification. You've got an incoming transmission to your room, to your quarters.
I seem somewhat relieved to have an excuse to not actually be paying attention to my candles, and I go and I check my message.
As you pull up the message there, the commanding officer actually of which starbase was it that you served
364
on? It's the commander of the commanding officer of starbase 364, Commander Christina Iman, pops up on your view screen, and she warm personality. Oh, Tavel, I'm glad I caught you. I'm not disturbing you, am I?
Not at all, Commander.
Good. I just wanted to wish you well on your next adventure. I hope you arrived at the starbase safely.
I have.
Good. I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but I'm glad that you're doing something that means something to you. If that's okay to say. I know you're not the sentimental type.
The sentiment is understood, though, Commander.
Good.
And I must say that, though I agree there have been disagreements, you have challenged me in many productive ways over the years. And for that, I owe you a great deal, Commander Iman.
Think nothing of it. The privilege was mine. I served before under your new commanding officer many years ago when he was first officer of the Enterprise. He's unconventional, you might say, especially by Vulcan standards, and that's only become more evident as we've all gotten older. I think you'll find him stimulating, if that's the right word.
I look forward with some anticipation.
Glad you're doing well. Say hi to Spock for me.
I will.
And I hope to see you around.
Farewell, Commander.
And she winks out, and you're left with this these thoughts, whatever they may be. Are you having any reservations or any sort of thoughts about what's to come in the next few hours, next day or so?
Reservations, yes, but she's fully cognizant that she's going to do an excellent job.
Good.
This is what she was made for. This is what she's born for. So there's no reservations about that. But the strangeness of the circumstances under which all of this is happening, some reflections on her own past, and probably, if anything, having to face a new crew that is not aware of her style or lack thereof.
I'd ask, but I want to see it when we get to it. So we'll go to Ian. Ian, your vessel, the Katinga class IKS Kolos, recently entered the system on its way to Starbase 24. Have you arrived? Are you en route? And tell me a little bit more about Maegor.
Let's say we're en route.
Okay.
Maegor is a Klingon warrior. For those unfamiliar, Klingons are a warrior race. Humanoid, but known for their distinct forehead ridges. And they've been one of the main antagonists for the United Federation of Planets for decades. And there's been wars. There's been a long period of a Cold War, which we're coming out of now, slowly, due to the Khitomer Accord treaty. So Maegor is in personal service to the Klingon High Chancellor, Azet, the head of the Klingon government. Maegor's house serves her house and has for generations, and is being sent on this mission really personally by her, kind of a personal olive branch being extended by the Chancellor to the Federation. It's dipping their toes into the pool of cooperation.
How are you feeling about that?
Well, I mean, Klingons are conquerors, and dying in battle is the greatest honor one could have. And the Federation has proven themselves to be formidable foes, and it's definitely necessary. The disaster on Praxis showed that the Empire was fragile, or is fragile still, and it has to be saved somehow. And if the Federation's going to help, or at least not deliberately stab us in the back, that's something that we can put our attention elsewhere, fixing the Empire.
So we'll join Maegor now in the captain's ready room aboard the Kolos. You're sitting across from Captain Kromek, who's an aging Klingon, and yeah, he wanted to see you off. Are you going to voice those thoughts to him, or
is he's just transporting me? Do I know him? I don't know, dude.
I think he runs in similar circles. I don't think that he's directly connected to Azet, but he is at least on her side.
So Klingons are also not known for being diplomatic at all.
True.
So there is perhaps Maegor's a little more measured than your average Klingon. At least, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see as we play. I don't know. Might fucking flip out. We'll see. But he was chosen for these, sort of his ability to have a little more composure, despite being fully a Klingon warrior. So I mean, any chance he get, I mean, he's loyal. He's loyal to her. This is what she wants to do, and he sees the logic behind it and is all for it. So any sort of conversations that happen around the ship about it, he speaks in a favorable. He tries to frame it, to other Klingons that it's beneficial. If he hears any bitching about it, he'll chime in with his opinion, and yeah. So he's trying his best to change minds.
So we'll rejoin the scene here as Kromek pours you another glass or another mug of blood wine, the traditional Klingon drink, and he says, "Drink well, my friend. Gelais knows the next time you'll be able to enjoy some blood wine."
Thank you, brother. I did arrange for several barrels to be brought with me, part of my baggage.
A real shame. I was looking forward to breaking into those, but I suppose they must.
Yes,
they must go with you. Must drink well to your glory.
I hope they last me long.
You can either drink to your victories or drown your sorrows, depending on how these Federationers decide to conduct their business.
Well, however it may be, they decide, I'm there to lend my support. It is my duty to serve them as I serve the Empire.
Ah, well, there I have to disagree with you, my friend. Serve them as you serve the Empire. No. The Empire must come first, Maegor, as always.
The Empire always comes first, brother, but I am being sent on this mission for a purpose. And that purpose is to show that we can work together.
Well,
you don't support the Khitomer Accords?
No, I support the Accords just fine. Gelais himself said that to destroy an empire to win a war is no victory, and, well, the Empire is on the verge of collapse. But that doesn't mean I have to like our strange new bedfellows.
Well, these bedfellows are willing to listen and help. And better have them on our side should the Romulans decide to turn up.
Ah, now you're talking. Those Patach have no idea the wrath they would rain down on their heads should they attempt to... Anyway, it's the blood wine talking.
The Empire will be strong again. Have faith, brother.
Oh, I have faith. I have faith. But I like what I can see a bit more. On that note, the little notification, the chime pops up that you've entered docking range. You've entered docking range of the star base, and he acknowledges the message. One for the road.
Of course. This whole time, Maegor's been drinking. He's not like pounding it like a fucking Viking.
Right.
He's drinking, but he's keeping it together.
Romek decidedly is not.
Yeah, I can tell.
he's
yeah,
he's covered in it.
Definitely a quality you want in someone flying a vessel.
Don't drink and pilot. Those Federationers and their seatbelts. The Starfleet and their stoplights. And he leads you to the transporter room. Oh no, I'm sorry, not the transporter room. You're docking to the main hatch, and he walks through it with you. Looks around at the cargo hold that you've come into, and he extends his hand in a the Klingon handshake grip thing. Yeah. And he regards you once more and he says, "Yes, the Empire will be strong again." And he departs, and the ship doesn't take off immediately, but you can tell that he's preparing to go. And so now, with this clearance and Starfleet security is aware of you, you have the run of the starbase, or most of it anyway. Is there anywhere that you'd like to explore in the next few hours?
I'll be wearing I'm wearing my standard Klingon warrior armor.
Mhm.
I have on my belt a disruptor pistol and a Detog dagger, as is befitting my status. So, I mean, I'm an openly armed Klingon now on this Federation station. So, how much security do I have around me?
Well, you take a look around and you can see that at the other door, because you're in sort of an airlock, sort of cargo airlock area, you can see a pair of Starfleet officers, armed, but they haven't drawn their phasers yet, but they are regarding you rather cautiously, but they know you're here on business, so it is for you to interact with them as you like. One of them says, "Welcome to Starbase 24. You'll find the main promenade just through these doors."
Thank you.
Are these like regular Starfleet officers, or are these like the security guards in football pads?
Are you talking Mako kind of?
Goes.
Yeah, I think one of each. I think you've got your regular, like, he's there to represent Starfleet and look good, but you got the other one who's ready and equipped. Should Maegor not have been measuring out his blood wine.
Now, and no other Starfleet officers or even security walk around with weapons, right?
They try not to.
Yeah.
No side phasers?
It's just side phasers, yeah. There's no rifles, no nothing.
Well, I take it you gentlemen are to show me around?
If you'd like, sir.
By all means.
And they do. They give you a quick tour, not a quick tour, a nice, respectful tour of the non-classified areas of the of Starbase 24, and we'll drop you off at your prepared quarters to do as you please, within or without, for the next few hours, until you're called to your command. Does anybody have any last bits of business they'd like to take care of aboard Starbase 24 before we get to it?
Just want to make sure that my casks of blood wine and my weapons and belongings all make it off the ship and onto the Eupraxia.
They do. It takes a little bit for them to pass security inspection. But yes, they are all. If they're not brought to your room, then they will be, as with the casks of the blood wine, they'll be brought to, the next ship that you'll be on, cargo, etc. But yeah, everything looks good.
Excellent.
I have one particular item that I think Orly would try and kind of smuggle through in his luggage, though I don't know necessarily how well that would go.
Tell me about it. All right.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Orly were to be on an away team, which I'm sure will happen at some point, he'd be issued whatever the current standard issue phaser is. But buried deep in his luggage, I believe Orly has an old, battered, Discovery style hand phaser that he has had for a very long time, that I think he is very careful to make sure is buried in clothes and equipment in just the way where scans won't quite detect it. And I'm not sure if that's something I would necessarily need to roll or...
No, I'm going to make you roll for it because I feel like it. So the way rolling works in a simple task like this is that you will start with 2d20. This will be your dice pool. And I'm actually going to pull up my own cheat sheet for just that reason. Because there are things that can be done there. Again, starting with 2d20, you can purchase, if you'd like, up to 3 more of these, and you won't need to for this roll, but just moving forward, this is what you can do. You can purchase up to 3 more by spending momentum, which we'll get to if you get momentum. And adding to threat, that's for me. That's how I can make things a little more interesting. Or using determination. And each of you has got 1 point of determination at the beginning of every episode. And they can be earned or spent as you like, more as we get there, if we get there. Think of that as one form of inspiration, like an inspiration point, momentum being the other. So we'll get there as we go. To Orly, do you have any talents that might be uniquely suited to this particular role, which I will make for your insight attribute and your security discipline?
Ooh, interesting. Okay. Insight is my highest attribute. That's an 11.
Okay.
Security is tied for my lowest. That's a 2.
Okay. So those two numbers, 11 and 2, will make up your target number.
Right.
So you can roll 2d20 if you would like. You are trying to get one or both of these. I'll make it a difficulty of 1. Because it is a simple task, but at the same time, Starfleet will have looked.
So that's the number of successes that I need.
That is the number of successes that you want. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, to succeed at this task. So you want, what did I just say? It was 13.
Yes.
You'll want to roll equal to or under 13.
Okay. You mentioned talents. I don't think I specifically have a talent that'd be helpful for this, but I do have a focus in hand phasers. I imagine that's probably more the use of and not how to smuggle.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that's a
fair enough.
That's a use of.
Thought I'd try anyway.
Of course.
All right. So rolling 2d20 and trying to get 13 or under on both.
Mm-hmm.
Get some good Foley in there.
Nice.
That is an 8 and a 12.
Awesome. So Starfleet is none the wiser, and if they notice it, then
I think I use that
fine.
2 engineering that I have to like take out the power pack in each individual piece and like take apart the parts that are easy to take apart and hide them in like separate bags.
Yeah. So you've got that janky old ass antique. It's got to be, what's that going to be now? That's at least 50 years old. No, maybe
40,
30.
probably
30 or 40.
40. I'd say 40.
It's called 40 years old. Yeah.
Now, did he also earn 1 momentum with those?
Yes,
rolls?
he did. Thank you for pointing that out.
I would have
Because
forgotten that as well.
yes, because the difficulty was 1, but you got 2 successes. You've now got 1 momentum you can use. And we're going to add that, unless you'd like to use it now. I see no reason to.
I think that's we don't need to use it now.
Then we are going to add that to the momentum pool. That means so long as the momentum pool has momentum, and it is given up at the end of each scene, meaning it won't carry over into the next scene. But as a part of the momentum pool, any character can access it to use momentum spends. Cool. You were doing a thing with your finger. Did you have a point, or was that
no? That's just inspiration and enlightenment reaching my mind. Like it all makes sense.
God touched your forehead and gave you momentum. Yes.
So actually, minor question then. Would this scene then be specifically the scene of Torley smuggling things in his luggage? Because in that specific case, I'd love to use that momentum to smuggle more illicit alcohol, but that's also not necessary. Torley has a master plan to bond with Maegor over an ancient Earth spirit known as Everclear.
Why?
I don't feel a thing. I don't understand.
I feel like something in my fingertips.
Not necessary. We can just move on.
Well, I'm looking to see now what I can do with momentum. What can you do with momentum? Common uses for momentum. There we go. Okay, no, you wouldn't be able to, because you would need 2 momentum to create a new advantage, which is fun in a scene. You could add bonus d20s to a task. You could create a problem for somebody else if you wanted.
I don't even need dice for that. Shit.
Yeah, but that's yeah, that would be in a situation. Yeah. Obtain information. Do you want to apply somebody for information?
I don't think that's quite necessary at this moment.
Okay. All right.
You are an officer, so presumably you could bring some alcohol,
Yeah.
personal.
Oh, that's true. There's probably some poor young ensign or enlisted officer that I just sort of like grab like by the collar and just say like,
Yep.
Hey, how much would people care if I just have bottles of liquor at my personal effects? You can't tell anyone by this about this, by the way. I do outrank you.
It's you've grabbed a young Orion ensign by the scruff of his neck.
I realize the optics of this look like this could be racial profiling. It is absolutely not.
Well, I'm going to take your word for it, sir. But to answer your question, it should be fine. Can you please put me down now?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Also, it's worth noting, I looked this up. Cations are between 1.5 and 1.7 meters in height. So, like, Torley is 5'2". He's not that tall.
Well, that just
Get
means
on
I
my
got to make this
level.
guy really, really short.
Alternatively, one of my talents is I have a prehensile tail. So maybe I'm holding him up by my tail.
You do that, yeah. There you go. He's hanging. This young Orion ensign, green skinned. The Orions are known for being pirates and ne'er-do-wells in Federation space. So strange that there would be an Orion in Starfleet. And so you put him down. He goes and he says, "Thank you.
Run along now."
With haste, and he bounds away.
I love that we've established
it.
that our crew of 4 are 3 dysfunctional Starfleet officers, 2 of which might be alcoholics, and just a whip smart Klingon that is also like basically an ambassador who like far outclasses the other 3 people in this group of 4.
And that's how we became the Star Trek bunch.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hey everyone, this is Sawyer Paine, your game master, your producer, your good buddy guy. First off, hope you all had good, safe holidays and a good, safe start to 2022. And second, thank you so much for listening to our first episode, y'all. It's been a journey in itself getting here, since we're figuring out the game as we go this season. But we're all really looking forward to seeing where it goes. And if you want to get involved in that too, there are a couple things you can do that would really help us out. You can leave us a rating and a review. That'll help us a bunch starting out. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Patreon at The Rolde Players, and that's the old-timey spelling. YEROLDEPLAYERS. Again, that is at YEROLDEPLAYERS. And most importantly, you can tell people you know. Have them give it a listen. We'd really, really appreciate it. And I think that's it. A quick message from this week's sponsor, and then it's back to the episode. Bye.
Captain's log. Stardate 9723.1. Final preparations are underway for our departure from Starbase 24 and the commencement of our maiden voyage. This Excelsior class, U.S.S. Eupraxia, is Starfleet's answer to questions raised by the foiled Kittimer conspiracy last month and the disaster aboard the new Enterprise 17 days ago. Our mission, therefore, is to tour the Klingon neutral zone in anticipation of its dissolution. Officially, little more than a show of force and resolve. But I admit to some satisfaction in knowing that I and my crew will have ample opportunity to continue the exploratory legacies of former commanding officers and very old friends. A human sentiment, perhaps, but true. As his turbolift car reaches its destination, the last introduction makes his way to the bridge. Captain Spock, enters the bridge of the U.S.S. Eupraxia, which is like that of most Starfleet vessels. It's a circular wall of consoles and stations, broken up by the door to the captain's ready room at its starboard. Among these consoles are found an engineering section from which the engineering officer may access the ship's engines, mechanical systems, and engineering section staff. A tactical station from which the ship's weaponry, shields, and security systems may be accessed, and a science station from which the chief science officer may take sensor readings, calibrate scientific instruments, and perform research when not in any of the ship's labs. So as Spock enters the bridge, we find Orly now at his science station. Maegor has taken up the tactical station there. Tavel has taken up the engineering section, and there are two more that we need to introduce, or in one of their cases, reintroduce. At the very front of the toward the bow of the ship of this room, to the left, if you're facing the view screen, you find the operations console. There sits the operations officer, Lieutenant Owen Hackett, who is a human in his early 30s, and to the right, the helm, or the flight control officer's station, where sits the very same Orion ensign that Orly very casually strung up by his
manhandled.
Manhandled, yes. And his name is Eno Egai. And he's sitting there really trying not to make eye contact with Orly.
So Orly is purposefully every few seconds just staring daggers into the back of his head.
And he knows. He's kind of, every so often he'll look over at Hackett, and Hackett will just give him this kind of like, he's still looking look. And and that is what Captain Spock, now in his early 60s, walks into as he takes the bridge. And I'm sorry, so sorry. Seikosha is standing at the executive officer station, ready to receive the commanding officer.
I was about to ask. I was like,
Yeah, I know. He looks around. I'm missing someone. No. Yeah. And captain on the bridge, and everybody, all the ceremony is done, and he takes his seat in the captain's chair, and he turns to you, Seikosha, and he says, "Status report, Mr. Yarin."
Status report. Looks, everything's been going. Hold on a sec. Wait. How do I answer that question?
However you like.
Okay. Yes, Captain, everything seems to be going well here. No one's called with any emergencies. We are ready to go whenever you are, sir.
Feels very Han Solo-esque. Everything's fine up here. How are you?
And in that moment, I was like, "What does the first officer do?"
I don't know.
I kind of.
Status alert green.
For a moment there, I kind of wanted to riff off of like, how do I answer this? Affirmative or negative, Mr. Yar? Like, what am I doing? Yeah.
Nominal.
Nominal. Good. And he nods and says to Mr. Egai, Mr. Egai, prepare to take us out of docking. And Egai sees to Orly and turns ever so slightly more towards Spock and says, "Yes, sir," and returns to his station. For this, I am actually gonna have somebody roll for this, and it occurs to me I did not make an Eno Egai. Ugh, God, what's his name? Eno Egai. It occurs to me I did not make a sheet for him. So, what I'm gonna do is, Ian, if you want to go ahead and do me a roll here based on your stats, that's fine. Go ahead and give me a control and con check.
All right.
So again, you're going to want to add your control number and your con. We'll call this a difficulty 1. So go ahead and.
So it's going to be a target of 12.
12. All right. So go ahead and roll 1 or 2 if you'd like.
I got a 20 and a 12.
Okay. So that's 1 success, and unfortunately, you rolled a.
That's the equivalent of a complete failure.
You rolled a
Yeah,
natural
right?
20, so that's a complication.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Poor Eno. His
fun
first day.
thing about this one. Nope. Okay. So if there's no particular focus applied here, then a natural 1 equals 2 successes, and a natural 20 means a complication. So I'm not gonna be too harsh with this one. I won't make it a big old complication. But so as Eguy leans pushes forward on the helm there, main thrusters engage. You're not using impulse power while within the confines of space dock. Thrusters engage, and it feels like it should be one of those inspiring moments where you're all kind of looking out and the ship's about to go and you're all like, space, the final frontier. And then Tavel, your engineering section gives you a little like whoop, 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 and it's like, oh no, something failed. What happened? So go ahead and just give me a quick control engineering roll.
Okay. That's a target of 17. I rolled 2 die. Oh, it's a 12 and a natural 20.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Well, shit.
Commander, report.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
So says Seikosha.
Oh, sorry.
To,
Am I allowed to say that in game? Is that
Yes.
that's how it works, right?
That's fantastic.
I've watched enough Star Trek. That's
Yeah.
what's supposed to happen next.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I don't think with so much colorful language. But...
yeah.
Oh, you'll get to know that Seikosha swears a lot.
Oh man. yeah.
Again,
Figuring out
they
that
sing
voice
a
was
solidly
real
in
fun.
Kurtzman track.
So yeah, what the fuck is going on? And Spock just goes. Realizing
In
mean-
my day, we just
Sorry.
said double dumbass on you.
he gives you the eyebrow like what?
I'm sorry.
So
Commander, report.
Tavel, what happened? The way I'm seeing this, what happened was, as Eguy pushes forward on the thrusters there, it's going really, really smoothly until something hiccups, something fails, and it's a quick fix for you, or it should be a quick fix. Just sort of oh, yep, nope, no problem, rerouting, got it, and then the shields go down. Or rather, the shields go up because we're not doing anything. So shields go up.
Mr. Eguy, what have you done to my ship?
Yes, Mr. Eguy. What have you done to her ship?
I don't know. And Spock just, Mr. Maegor, would you kindly take down the shields, please?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and roll me a.
Oh God! Even taking the shields down is a roll.
You know what? I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. How many things can go wrong before we
Before we even
even
get out of space dock.
Our
enjoying it.
triumphant motion picture-esque 20-minute montage of the Enterprise has turned into a comedy of errors. So.
Yeah, go ahead and give me yeah, control and engineering.
Engineering?
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Control and security. Let's do that.
Okay, that's better. 13. 15 and a 1.
So okay. So 15, that's a failure. Fine. But with a 1, that's 2 successes. So not only are you able to, you know what, role play it how you like. Are you gonna give them a look? What are you gonna do? But you're able to just be like, Fine, shields are down. That was easy. And I'm also going to add one momentum to this for as long as we are on the ship. So we now have a momentum pool of 2. Nice. Congratulations. Spock just turns in his chair. Fascinating. And you pull out from space dock and head toward the bearing he gives you. I'm not going to make I could make Mr. Egad roll for it again. No, I won't.
A 6-hour session.
6-hour session.
6 hours of us cleaning up after him.
What'd you guys do? What'd you guys do? Your first adventure? Well, we got out of space dock. And
characters haven't even met yet.
We got out of space dock.
Success.
I don't know if I want.
We are now returning to space dock for repairs.
The first episode.
The ship is broken.
The ship is broken. Episode 1, the ship is broken. God.
The ship is broken, and so am I.
So.
Sorry, that's my inner monologue.
Personal log: the ship is broken, and so am I.
I'm gonna use that.
Personal log: I just bullied an Orion.
He cried. It was a great day.
I finally understood how the females felt. That's a thing.
I
right?
know
That is a thing.
I saw that
in
Enterprise, and then very briefly in Lower Decks. That's a thing.
It is.
It's horrible. Is that a Berman thing?
Yeah,
I think that's a Berman thing.
100%, that's a Berman thing.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to bring that into this space.
It's fine.
What do you mean, guys? What do you mean, guys? The females enslaving males is feminism. Girl boss. Power.
They just look like they're being objectified because they like it.
Yeah. It's really, they're just controlling you with their pheromones.
Yeah, science.
Woo!
Hairball. Hairball.
Hairball. That's, yeah.
It's a hairball. Yeah, and Spock orders that. What does he order? He orders that a course be laid in for 64 degrees, Mark 23, at warp 6. Engage. So the crew has a few hours without incident as we enter the neutral zone. The neutral zone.
Whoa! What are we doing?
The mutual zone. It's different.
We've entered the mutual zone, Captain. Wow, that's fascinating. Yeah.
No, I was going to make a terrible joke. No, please continue on with the actual episode.
For the price of 1 momentum, you can make a terrible segue.
That just increases the threat, actually.
Is that how? Yeah, exactly. Terrible segues, throw in a threat.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so yeah, we have a few hours of that incident as we enter the neutral zone. So if you guys would like to explore the ship, get to know each other, now's a great time. Let me direct you to some spots on the ship where you might go. Naturally, there is the bridge. If you wish to remain here, you may. To your right, as I mentioned, is the captain's ready room. You've also got your quarters. You've got a couple of recreation rooms, an observation lounge, a mess hall. Like, think of it like 10 forward. That's what it's called. Yeah, 10 forward, if you will. Aboard this ship, you've got the engine room. You've got the science labs. You've got the kind of a tactical area. Spock has invited you all to an officer dinner if you wish to partake in that, but understandably, it's not required.
I would love an officer's dinner.
Spock will be in the captain's dining room at what's 8 p.m. military time. That's 2000 hours. 2000 hours. He will be there. Should you choose to come a-calling.
Well, Maegor will attend the dinner. This captain offered, so
Yeah.
Until then, gonna get settled in my quarters. Am I still being escorted by armed guards?
No.
Welcome to our ship. We don't trust you.
You eat, we'll know about it. If you shit, we'll know about it.
If you go anywhere you are not permitted, this detonation will blow your head off.
Yeah. I mean, just like walking the halls, like, what impression am I getting from people?
So it's mixed reactions, as you might expect. There are those among the crew that are. I wouldn't say that anybody is pleased to see you. I'm sorry to say, but there are those who are interested. As you pass the halls, some of them will turn and go, "Oh, that's new. That's cool. That's interesting." Didn't know they were going to do that, because it really hasn't been a widely talked about plan to have a Klingon on board a Starfleet vessel. You have others who, you'll bump into them in the corridor, and as we, or maybe I so often do, it's one of those games of, are you going right? Am I going left? Like, what way are we going? And everyone's feels a little bit better once you've passed, because no one really likes being cornered by a Klingon in a corridor, unless you're into that. But there is at least one person that's like, oh, okay, yeah, awesome. And it's it's cool, yeah, it's really cool. This is just like what I wrote about in my diary. So
just
good.
like in my fan fiction.
Not to speak negatively of fan fiction, because that is
Maegor and Me by Klingon Lover 12468. The man of my dreams encountered me in the hall today.
I could tell his blood wine ran strong.
Ran strong.
I might just find the answer to the question. Does the forehead match the curtains?
What? Are you implying that the curtains are ridged? Art
Dominantly.
Deco. Yeah, Counselor Thronor has had at least one person come in and go, "What the fuck?" And he goes, "I know, right?" So cool.
So cool. I can't wait to fight him.
I wonder if he's familiar with the Ushantor.
Is that where they were chained by the hands and they had the ice picks?
Uh-huh.
Nice. Oh, Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, so cool.
Well, Tavel is definitely conflicted about the dinner at first, but she will agree. But in the meantime, she wants to go and meet the engineering staff and pick apart engineering with the finest of fine-tooth combs. She's going to look at every isolinear chip in every single system.
Okay. So
nerdy point of order, I don't think they'd be isolinear chips by this point. I think it'd still be duotronic computer systems.
You would be correct.
Which I only know because I fucking made up that goddamn title for a fucking paper that Torley wrote that is specifically about how multitronics suck as a successor to duotronic computers and we should be using isolinear computing instead.
I like Star Trek. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
And that's okay.
That's the correct answer.
So Tavel is thinking a little bit ahead of her time, but
you must have read my paper.
Oh, I have, Commander Orley. I've had far too much time on my hands for the last 30 years. So, I want to go and put the fear of God into my engineering team.
So when you get there, you are met by one particularly eager staff member who sort of not assumed command, but like has stepped up to kind of be like, oh, yep, nope, Tavel wants this over there, and yada yada yada. And this is Lieutenant Junior Grade Seth Parker. He's a human who about 31, and as you enter, he looks up from his console and says, "Oh, Lieutenant Commander, you're looking well. Hi, welcome to engineering. It's we've got it prepared for you.
Status.
Oh, all systems nominal, apart from that one hiccup. What happened up there? Oh, I see. Yeah.
Mr. Eguy happened.
Newbie at the helm.
How's everyone settling in here?
Oh, well, I mean, they seem fine. How are you?
Immaterial.
You're immaterial. Well, you're looking great.
Mr. Eguy. Oh,
yes.
No, Mr. Eguy. Mr. Parker.
Yes, ma'am, sir. How do you want to be referred to?
Ma'am will do just fine.
Ma'am will do just fine. Ma'am will do just fine, everybody.
What is the current efficiency of the warp core?
Very efficient. Ma'am.
So,
I'm happy to run more tests if you want.
Please do, Mr. Parker.
Great. I will go and do that for you. Yeah. Nice to meet you. I think we're gonna be great friends.
The warp engine, Mr. Parker.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
And
Ice cold.
I love Tavel.
I love it. It's so good.
Fantastic.
Okay. Seikosha, what are you up to? Spock's got the con, so you are welcome to depart the bridge if you would like. Otherwise, you can stick around. What's your fancy? What are you feeling? What you up to?
So eventually, I will be attending the dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Is Eno still at the helm?
He is.
Okay. I want to stay on the bridge and I want to go over and talk to him.
And as you approach, he turns and acknowledges you. He says, "Oh, Commander. Hello. Can I help you, ma'am?"
And so I say, no, you're good. You're good. Just seeing how you're doing.
I may have completely destroyed my career right out of the gate there, or out of the space dock. That's a joke. But I'm fine. Thank you for asking.
It's your first time at the helm.
I mean, I've done it a lot of times in the simulations. I was fourth in my class, you know. But usually, I mean, I've really only ever actually piloted shuttles. This is my first time on a ship, and it's a big ship.
It is a big ship.
It is a big ship.
You know, Ensign, I remember my first time piloting a big ship. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was fucking terrifying. I'm a pretty good. I was at the helm on my last vessel.
Oh.
So I've been where you are right now. And but the first time I did, it was terrifying. And when it was probably maybe the third mission we were going on, and we're leaving, the starbase, and we're supposed to lay in a course towards whatever sector we were going to, and I laid in the incorrect course.
No.
I did, and no one figured it out till we were halfway there. Yeah, it was not a very attentive crew. That's not the point of the story. The point. I don't know where I'm going with the story. Out of game.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know if that is. I know where I'm trying to. I know what I'm trying to do, but I also don't know if that's.
Didn't know that till you were halfway there.
Exactly. I feel like that's ridiculous. So let me just take this back.
I feel like that's the point of the story.
No, I'm trying to do something here. Let me just take it back. I was terrified when I was at the helm for the first time, and I made mistakes too. Like, heck, I've laid in the wrong course. I've accidentally gone to warp when I should have gone to impulse. shit happens, man. A lot of the time, is that also out of game? Is that really bad too?
Maybe.
I'm just trying to make this dude feel better.
Well,
Maybe-
you've improved his mood. Yes.
Okay, so like maybe like in game, maybe I'm exaggerating just a bit. Like, and you can tell that I'm like exaggerating. So it's not like I'm a very incompetent person. I'm not incompetent. I'm just being hyperbolic, I guess, if you will. So I say it with an air like that, so it's clearly I'm not incompetent. Though maybe an alcoholic. That's yet to be seen. But I finish it with like, you know, man, don't sweat it. It's your first day. You got this. I pat him on the back and I say, you know, carry on.
Oh, that's good touch. Okay, yeah, thank you, Commander. Thank you.
And I walk away without any frills or pageantry.
And you can hear as you turn away, you do see him sort of turn back to his console with a reassured smile, and you very very softly you hear Hackett say to him, "I think she likes you, man. Shut up." And
I
Twirly,
just let out a single. Just a humph, little humph to
See?
myself.
shut up. And Orly, what are you up to?
As much as Orly would like to stay and keep making Ensign Agai Agai's life hell, he's also going to go to the dinner, but I think he makes a quick pit stop by the science labs to see the strange land that he is going to be in charge of, despite the fact that he does not want to be in charge of anything ever.
Okay, so as you head down to the science labs, and my God, there are a lot of science labs on this ship. You kind of make a beeline for like where would the kind of nerve center be if I have to
the main science lab, I guess,
oversee things. I guess I should head there. And as you do, you enter your office or your main sort of complex. And it's there you meet a human male, about 35, and he too is a lieutenant junior grade. And his name is Harrison Pronica. And he's an interesting fellow. He's got his hair tied back in a ponytail, not long, but like he's probably been talked to about his beard length. Still wears old-timey spectacles, like that sort of thing. And is chewing on his his stylus, his datapad stylus. He looks up and he goes, "Hey, you must be oh my God, I had it written down. Torley."
Yes, that's me. And you are
Harrison Pranica, or Harry, if you like. Others just call me you or dipshit or Pronica, and I respond to
Harry.
Just
nice to meet
just
you.
about anything. Yeah, man, it's a good time in the science labs. Not that I would know. I mean, this is my first time here.
Hey,
on this one.
me too.
Anyway, hey, it's cool, man. Oh, wait a minute. No.
No? What?
No, you're not the. No. Are you the one? You wrote the paper on the inefficiencies of modern warp coils, right?
Yes, I did.
Ah.
As far as I know,
is-
maybe 12 people read that.
Well, I'm one of those 12. Big fan.
Wow.
Yeah, of that one. Anyway, there are others that I don't quite agree with. But anyway, like
Hold on a second. Harry, is that your name? That's what you told me to call you, is Harry.
I mean, if you want, yeah.
So you just told ostensibly your commanding officer that you disagree with some of his hypotheses.
Yeah, well, nobody's perfect, man. You know.
Thank goodness someone is finally willing to say that. Let's have it out right here and now. I have them printed out on paper in my bag. Do you know the lengths I went to get them printed out? Let's have this out here and now. Thank goodness. This is now the best day I've had all year.
Well, I'm happy about that, man. Yeah, no, I'd love to sit and shoot the shit with you. I do have to do a round. I'm up to do a round and check on things.
You have to check on things?
It's, you know, I'd rather poke things with instruments.
No, I'm 100% with you there. I also would prefer to poke things. I'm asking you because I haven't actually read the full list of my duties.
You said list.
Is there not a list?
No, there is a. It's a. Never mind. It's a human bathroom joke. Never mind. Yeah, there's a list. It's kind of boring.
Well, I assumed it would be boring. It's busy work on a starship. Of course it's boring. That's par for the course.
Well, but that's the thing, is you can be busy with work without it being
No,
busy
again,
work.
I'm right there with you, my dude.
Oh, just like that.
Yes.
Awesome.
If you've read my papers, you understand my entire methodology here, which is let's sit and think and talk instead of making asses of ourselves in the ass end of space.
You think space has an ass?
Well, let's sit down with some paper and theorize, shall we?
Hell yeah. I'll be right back. And he goes off to do his round.
Fantastic.
In the midst of this, I am inspired by the thought, like, do we still have printers in the 23rd century, or do we replicate documents?
I think Orly actively programmed every single fucking page of his dissertations into a replicator.
So he can go to any station throughout the ship.
He's got those like big fucking square computer chips, like magnet tapes that they had at the time, with fucking replicator directions that he will plug into any replicator to actively print out his dissertations.
Yes.
I would like to
please.
point out that in the original series there are times when Spock will print something out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we're too far removed that's no longer a thing that can be done. So yeah.
Because I just feel like in the advance of technology, printers are the first thing we would want to chuck out a window,
Absolutely.
out of an airlock. Like,
I said my keys.
I think
anything.
Orly is a master of the art of like printing out a whole fucking thesis and just like grabbing a page and slamming it on someone's desk. I think he's been demoted because of doing that.
You've only got so many energy credits and you're devoting them to paper.
Yes.
Ugh, fine. Yeah, and so it's within these sorts of with these experiences on the brain, you head to the captain's dining room at 2000 hours, and there, perfectly on time, is Spock, who stands as you enter. Dinner is laid out, all sorts of culturally appropriate dishes, including gach. Yeah, how do you all come in? How do you all take a look at this, and what are you all thinking?
I mean, I don't want to hog the spotlight, but
Please do.
I'm the weird, like, I'm literally the alien coming on board. So I don't know if there's like, Spock does an official introduction, or
Yeah. So as you all sit, Spock will stand up and say, before we begin, I would like to formally recognize and introduce Commander Maegor, who will be joining our crew as a tactical advisor, head of security. It goes without saying that I expect you will show him the same respect you would show your fellow crewmen. Mr. Maegor, do you have any remarks to make?
Maegor stands. Thank you, Captain Spock. And Chancellor Azadbur sends her regards to you as well. I am Maegor, son of Teth, commander in the Klingon Defense Force, and I hope this joint adventure will be as educating as it's meant to be. And I hope we can find some glory and honor out there amidst our travels. Then he sits back down.
While Vulcans are not known for their sentimentality, I think I speak for all of Starfleet. Or perhaps most of Starfleet, when I say we are pleased to have you.
So Orly leans in with a very noticeable "Hear, hear."
Tavel will say nothing, but take a healthy portion of gach.
Maegor notices that it's not often I see non-Klingons enjoying gach.
How often is it that you see non-Klingons?
I suppose that's a fair point.
Is there tension here? Is there tension to diffuse?
Fucking seems like it.
Great. All right. That's an out of game thing. And I swoop in to diffuse the tension, because that is one of my character traits.
Ooh.
And I hold my glass and I say, well, Maegor, it is an honor to have you here with us. And the hope you talked about is a shared hope for all of those here in the Federation, past, present, and future. And I certainly hope, too, that these relations will be a success. I raise my glass, and in the fashion of Klingons, I believe the word is Kapla.
Kapla.
Kapla, Commander.
I understand that you serve House Gorkon, correct?
Yes. My family has served House Gorkon for generations as what you could consider castellans or seneschals in your parlance.
Yes. I knew the man, the late Chancellor, only briefly, but he showed great strength of will and great vision, I think, for what both of our communities could be. I understand that Chancellor Azadbur has met with some resistance.
She is establishing her reign.
It's my personal study of Klingon history, which I fully admit may be full of holes, but that it tends to be when there is a female chancellor in power that the Empire tends to make its most interesting and also, what's the word I'm looking for? Well thought out decisions. After all, the first time the Empire made peace overtures, but also a significant advance in military technology, was under the guide of Chancellor Laurel, was it not?
It was.
It was indeed. Yes, Chancellor Azadbur is, well, she's meeting the resistance you might expect a woman in her position to meet. But she, like her father, is guided by purpose and honor. And she will do everything in her power to make sure the Empire is strong once again.
And you may trust that Starfleet will do all in its power to ensure that the Empire survives to fight another day.
I is curious. If that were to happen, that fight might be with the Federation. That is a distinct possibility, isn't it?
That is a
He has a
risk.
visible smirk on his face, like he's...
And Spock notes the smirk and raises an eyebrow. And he says, "It is a risk. Yes. But an old friend of mine once said that risk is our business. Maegor."
Orly does his best to cut the tension with, and speaking of, pass the gah, would you?
And on that note, the ship is suddenly rocked by something. And as all of you recover and kind of give looks around to each other of what the hell just happened, that's where we'll wrap part 1.
The Rolde players present Ex Astris, Star Trek Adventures, a real play Star Trek Adventures podcast starring the vocal talents of Courtney St. Gelais, Ian Helmick, Chingwe Padraig Sullivan, Emily Morcos, and Sawyer Paine. Special thanks to Jaclyn Hodgkins for our cover art, Symbol Bird and the Free Music Archive for our theme music, and to you, our listeners. For updates and ways to get involved, please consider following us on Twitter or Patreon, which you can find in this episode's info. Live long and prosper.